Email marketing. What is it? What is it not? And why do you even need it in your homestead business? Let's talk about email marketing today. You need to use email marketing in your homestead business. And one of the key parts of email marketing is a regular newsletter. That newsletter allows you to continue the conversation that you were having with someone long into the future. They'll continue to get regular pieces of mail from you and encourage them to purchase later on down the road. A good newsletter provides consistent value over time. You can provide them with more tips about your product, or you can provide them with where is the next place that your business will be, and what market or event will you show up at. You can provide them with sales information or even exclusives that are just for those people that are on your email list. The most successful newsletters are totally customer focused. They look like regular mail. They don't look like a newsletter with lots of fancy graphics or images, but instead they are just a regular text-based email. Some of them might have a few product photos, but they're still pretty basic. And those are more likely to make it through the spam filters and get to the person's inbox. And because they look like regular mail, people are more likely to open them and connect with you. When you go fancy on them, they look at it more like, well, it's all sales and it's more likely spam. Versus when you write them what comes out to be a more personal email, especially if you're using their name in the email, then they're more likely to open and connect with you. While newsletters can be used to generate sales, they're more like a soft sales tool. They're used to create that connection more than they are to create sales. Now, you still want to encourage sales, so you can reach out and tell people about a sale that's going on, or you can let them know that, hey, this product is back in stock. But it's a pretty soft thing, unless you're specifically sending an email to a sales list. And we'll discuss that here in just a second, but when you send out those kind of emails, they should only be sales. They should focus on the catalog that you have or the latest product launches that you're doing. They should only focus on those to this email sales list. Now, you don't have to have just a sales list. Now, when we build an email list, we recommend actually dividing it into 3 different groups. You can divide it into people that want to get your content weekly. And that weekly content could be your latest and greatest. Or you can divide it into a monthly group, and those people would only get things like your best content, the stuff that you've worked really hard at and is done really well when you've shared it other places. And the last group could be a sales group, where only things about product launches or sales happen in that particular newsletter. Or you can go with just a combined newsletter. I send out a weekly tips newsletter, and at the bottom I have things like blog articles and soft calls to action like, hey, if you're having trouble with this in your marketing, shoot me an email. They're not hard sales, but they're just asking for little bits. You want to focus on growing your email list authentically. You don't want to go out and collect just as many emails as you can, but rather collect up those emails of the people that are most interested in working with you. When you focus on the people who are most interested in working with you, they're more likely to stay on your list over the long period of time, instead of bouncing off in just a matter of minutes. So focus on growing it authentically, those that you've given a lead magnet to or a sample, and work on gaining those people who are already interested in your product or service. The key to a good email list is to make sure that you are consistent with it. If you're going to send out a weekly email, you need to send a weekly email. If you're going to send one monthly, then make sure you get one out at least once a month. When you are not consistent with your list, then the list is more likely to go stale and people will start to fall off. They won't directly leave the list, but they won't remember who you are or why they signed up for it. And when that happens, they're more likely to unsubscribe. And when you get a large unsubscribe rate, then your list is no longer useful. You're not gaining anything by sending out a newsletter to people who are constantly unsubscribing. So if you stay more consistent, then people will be more likely to interact with you, and they'll be more likely to stay on your list because they understand the value that they're getting, and they see you regularly enough to remember why they signed up for your list in the first place. Email is very personal. You've been given permission to reach out and directly touch somebody's inbox, and that inbox is their private space. Unlike social media, where you're sending out a post and it goes to random people and some of your followers, they're giving you permission to reach out and touch their phone or their computer directly. So you need to be respectful that they've given you that permission and only send things that are good to send. Don't constantly bombard them with sales, but instead give them value and sales. And there's a perfect balance there that you can strike depending on your audience, and make sure that you're not overdoing the sales. They're not just in it to get sold every 5 minutes. And those companies that tend to sell constantly have a large unsubscribe rate because people are, I don't want to be sold to right now, and so they unsubscribe. But if you're providing them value and then a sale, they're more likely to stay on your list. So treat that email list with respect. You remember, you've been given permission to get into their inbox, and you don't want to lose that permission by not treating them with respect. Now, you should be using a scheduling tool. We prefer to use MailerLite in my business, but there's plenty of other tools out there, and they allow you to schedule that email in advance. You shouldn't be sending out emails, especially to a bulk list, from your email address, from your personal email address. Because what happens is, as people mark that as spam, it can cause your personal email address to get blocked, and then all the regular emails that you would need to communicate with people will also get sent to spam. So make sure that you're using a scheduling tool or a mailing email list tool, and that tool will then allow you to set up, and normally it's like a relay address or an alias. And once you have that set up, then all your email marketing will come from a third address, a third party. And when people respond, you'll still get them, but then you're not burning your private email if something goes wrong or if lots of people are unsubscribing or marking you as spam. So make sure that you've set up a tool. And the other benefit is that you can schedule content in advance. I try to schedule out our weekly newsletter normally about a month or two even in advance. I try and stay ahead so that if I'm busy that day, I don't have to worry about, did I send my newsletter? Instead, it's already scheduled and it just goes out on the time that I've asked it to. So go out. There's MailerLite, there's ActiveCampaign, and quite a few others. Make sure you go find yourself a good tool that fits for the needs of your business and try them out. And then use that to schedule your regular newsletter so that you stay consistent to your audience. So today I talked about email marketing and how you could use emails to continue that conversation with your customers in your homestead business. And I hope that I've given you some valuable tips so that you can send out better emails and retain more people on your list and help grow your business. So I encourage you to go out, set up an email list, and then start sending out a regular newsletter to your audience. And see how that helps you grow your business.